Rosalía.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. My name is Angèle.
Nice to meet you. I saw, never in person, but I saw you performing. And I thought that it was really amazing to see a woman doing what you do on stage. I love how you play. I love how you move. It feels like you are very muy libre, very free. And I think to see a woman that powerful on stage doing that, it's always beautiful, and it's something that I always love and admire.
I mean, I could definitely say exactly the same for you. Yeah, no, for sure, it's exactly the same. The fact that you're dancing and singing with very powerful way of being there and being like saying, yes, I'm a woman and this is where I belong, you know?
Yeah, it feels like that on stage for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
And also as a woman in the music industry, I feel like sometimes we have to really kind of say that it's our place and that we deserve it.
I love that you talk about that that word, the freedom. I think that's been in the back of my head during all this process of this new project. And I feel like that's mi deseo último. I don't know how to say that in French.
I don't know what does it mean. Like,
my ultimate desire.
Okay, yeah, I know what you
How
mean.
you say that in French?
I don't know if there's a translation, but I would say like this is your goal, I guess.
Sí,
right?
Sí, like the thing that I would like the most is to be the as free as possible.
It's exactly the same for me because there is a song in my album called Free, called Libre, which means free.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about this feeling and this willing of being free. And it's not that easy. I think it's just the way your whole life you're trying to be as free as possible, especially when we do this work, which is amazing, but it's also like sometimes really tough because lots of people are watching us. So sometimes it's hard to feel free to do whatever you want, knowing that lots of people are looking at you.
Right.
And this feeling is very important to change the balance and to still be as free as you can.
In my case, for Motomami, I was working, really trying to commit. So, for example, if I was going to do an album with synths, I'm not gonna put guitars. There's not gonna be guitars. And if I'm enjoying right now drums, aggressive drums, yes, that's gonna be the part of the palette of this project. And I like that every project has a different palette and clear intentions. So in the lyrics too, I was feeling like, oh, I wanted this more with a tone that it's confessional, right? And I was like, okay, so this is an intention too. And the subjects, I wanted that every song has a different subject. Maybe one is more transformation, one is about reaffirmation, another one is about spirituality, sexuality, day-to-day, being exposed, being isolated. I don't know, like all of that it's part of the experiences I was having in that moment. So yeah, that's committing to. So at the end of the day, to create a frame, it allows you to commit. And there's people that they already said that, no, that it gives you freedom too. Every time I went to the studio, every time I started a project, it always was from a place of, I'm gonna make decisions and I'm gonna commit to them.
Yeah, what does Motomami mean? I want to know. By the way.
Okay, I like that everybody thinks however they want to, whatever they decide that Motomami means, whatever they decide that it is. But I think that I'm a Motomami and that definitely you are a Motomami too.
Okay, thank you. I'll be a Motomami.
Yeah, it's a strength, a feminine energy.
Okay.
Motopapi exists too, but I think that that I'm a Motomami, and definitely when I see you performing on stage, and if one day we're in the studio, I can already imagine you. I think that your energy is super strong, and
thank you.
Yeah,
I take it.
Remember my mom, since I was very young, that my mom would be a very strong woman, and she inspired me. She always told me to be independent, to figure out a way to be always independent. So that's for sure. That's something that me marcó. It made me be in a certain way, for sure, no? So I think that when I was creating other projects and a lot in this last one, I feel like I had present women in my life, no? So my grandma, my sister, my mom, they are all women that, super strong women that they inspire me. And just because that love that I have for the feminine energy, and I wanted to celebrate that. I wanted to celebrate that energy, that feminine energy. That's why also I decided to call the album Motomami, is celebrating us as the biggest creative force in nature.
I can relate because my mom is also a very strong woman. And she used to tell me to be independent, and she is very independent. She knows what she wants, and she's very fun, and that's something that is, it's even her work actually. She is a comedian and she's making fun, and I've always seen her on stage making people laugh, and that was very interesting for me to see a woman, a beautiful woman, being who she wanted to be on stage.
Yeah.
And make people laugh, because for me it was powerful.
Yeah, it's super powerful.
Super powerful, because sometimes like humor is made for men, and I remember she told me how when she started, a journalist were asking her like, is it possible to be beautiful and funny at the same time? Can you imagine? It was a long time ago. So this, like everything she brings me this energy and this way of be who you want to be, and she doesn't care about the judgment.
Right, Motomami, unapologetic.
Yeah. She's just like doing what she wants. And also she was very feminist, because she was very into the LGBT fight and fighting for the LGBT and the women's rights.
Yeah.
And since I'm a kid, so when I grew up and when I was 20, 21, I was kind of alone in this music industry. And because of my mom, I wanted to be independent. So I told my parents, no, don't help me. I want to be by my own. I want to do my own stuff. So I was very alone, and I was with my manager, Sylvie, which used to be my babysitter. So she's also a really strong woman in my life.
Yeah.
And then
your manager is a woman, no?
Yeah.
My manager is a woman too.
Same.
Rebecca, yeah.
And I had lots of men in my life, and I love them, and I have connection with anybody that works with me. But having kind of a big sister being my manager is so important for me, because we really feel each other, and I really love her energy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my feminism came. I mean, it was already in my blood, but when I started to write, I wanted to write about this energy, about the fact that being a woman doesn't mean that you're going to be weak, or it's just the opposite. It just means that sometimes you have these difficulties in your path that you have to go through, and that makes you stronger.
Do you feel like you surrender? When you fall in love, you surrender? Like, do you feel like, yeah, I like the feeling of surrenderness? Surrenderness?
So, yeah, means...
Surrender.
Let it go?
Like, to be like, oh, okay, that's how he's feeling. I go with it.
Yeah, I'm intense. So I like to live intense stuff. So no, I got trouble with this because it was too intense, and I couldn't, take the step back to just breathe and just think. I needed to leave what I was going through, but it depends. About you?
I feel like when I think I fell in love 2 or 3 times in my life. Yeah, I think the first time it was when I was 13, kind of. And then I was 20-something. And and recently too.
Cool.
And I feel like there's a feeling of, okay, if that's what is happening, I take it.
Yeah.
Like, the surrender. I kind of feel like I feel about it in a serene way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But that's what we want. We don't want to think about it in a toxic way. Just it needs to be as long as it's not toxic, it's okay for me.
Uh-huh. I have to say that I feel grateful. I had one experience that was a little bit dark. Not that dark in the worst way. I mean, just like not a lot, not light enough. But the only thing that I feel grateful about it is that I could do my last project in my career. That wouldn't exist without
That's true. I could say this too.
Yeah.
Like I could thank my ex. Really, like for the song they made me able to write. So yeah,
Ay, Dios mío.
it's a cool way to see it.
Right. And do you feel the two sides of the position where you are? Do you feel like the excitement of being a musician and everything that, like, probably traveling all the time and meeting new people, blah, 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 you know how it is?
Yeah.
But also a little bit like hostile, like like an environment that it's sometimes a little bit like, yeah, hard to be in it.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And also there is this strange balance to find with the others.
Right,
Because
right.
I don't know if you know, you feel the same, but I feel like, yeah, I'm so lucky and so grateful for everything I do.
Same.
Because like it's amazing what I'm able to do and travel and performing and being on stage, meeting people, interesting people like you. And
The same.
in another way, sometimes it's very tough because we're doing this. I mean, we're playing music for us, but also for the others who are listening to us.
Definitely is for sharing. Definitely.
For sharing.
Definitely.
And sometimes people also need to share their bad feeling about us. And I think also this is a way of finding freedom, is to get as confident with yourself as possible, to be sure that nothing can touch you in your heart. Like, if there's some people who's gonna hate you, who's gonna hate your music or hate the way you're dressed or whatever, it's always like this because it's normal. And sometimes it's hard to just remember, I'm just playing, I'm just doing music. I'm just doing what I like.
Right.
And whatever, if people don't like it, it's their right, of course. And whatever, if they want to say it on the internet, is also their right.
Yeah.
But finding this balance inside, finding this confidence inside, it's an exercise from every day. We know how often we're judged every time, and just not just you and me. I mean, you and me, it's also
You mean
another
as
thing.
humans, not
But
as
as
people.
humans,
Right.
people
Right.
are judging each other, and we are, and they are, like, and when I started to do some music for my work, I wasn't expecting to be even famous. I was just doing the music for myself, and we were in the studio in Paris, in an underground, just doing whatever I wanted. And I remember I had like this very important point in my head. For example, I don't know why, but I didn't wanted any guitar in the first album. No, because I wasn't playing guitar. I can't.
Yeah.
And I wanted the album to be very close from everything I can do. So I can do some beats on the computer. I can do some everything, but not guitar.
Yeah.
So I said, no guitar album. And everybody was like, why? Like, it's so important. You got to have a guitar. And for the
Why
first...
though?
But because I think it was, you know, the habits of having, you know, the stuff like in their place. And now it was hard to find this freedom back, knowing that I was weighted, you know. And it's very cool, like the feeling of not being judged or not caring. Like, you don't give a shit if you're judged because you're just doing the thing you like.
I feel like I usually prefer to focus on thinking of my job as as any other job.
Yeah.
Just as a musician, right? So when I go to the stage or I go to the studio, I just think it like that. I'm a musician and I'm gonna have fun today in the studio. Boom.
And it's good to always remember when you started and where you are now, and being grateful is like the most important thing.
You think that is important to look back and to have perspective?
Yeah, it's hard though. I mean, it's an exercise, but I'm trying as much as I can, because even if sometimes I don't like to look at me a few years ago, because I feel like, oh my god, I was so bad dressed. And
What are you talking about?
no, but you know, it's normal, and so it's
we all have moments.
oh yeah, it's and that's even cool, because there is, you know, you can see there is a progression.
Right. Yeah.
But I think it's so important. If you don't do that, everything is, you can feel that everything is, I'll say it in French because I don't know how to say, but acquis means that you don't have to work for it. But I think we have worked for this, so it's good to look back to see, oh, that was the way I was thinking, I was talking, I was writing, I was singing.
Yeah. Maybe that's a moment, no? I really like to think about projects as moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that, for example, for me, with Motomami, I'm like really happy that it represents these last 3 years. It represents a moment, it represents how I felt, who I am in that moment, here and now. You know what I mean? And I like that it's like that. I feel like even in the other projects, I didn't put a personal point of view on lyrics, for example, or so personal. It didn't have autobiographic content, no? It in the other projects, and in this one it does. And I feel like maybe in a couple of years I say that because probably when I'm 60 or something, I'm gonna be able to listen to it the same way that when you are older and you look into a diary when you were a teen. You know what I mean? And you can realize, oh, I was there in that moment. I was feeling like this. That's who I was. I like that the environment or the context changes how my music sounds, depending on where I am, depending, you know. For example, for me, traveling during these last 3 years, being especially in Miami, New York, LA, in Puerto Rico, some República Dominicana and Barcelona too, all of that really, I think, really made this new project be different and sound different and have other inspirations. And I'm gonna be worried if one day it's not like that. You know what I mean? If one day the places that I am, the experiences that I have, they don't affect how my music sounds. It's like I'm gonna be worried. I think it's much better when you let all those things
coming to you.
Yeah, and be part of you.
Inspire, yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Anything can be, like, anything can trigger a song. And, right?
Yeah.
Even it's a chord progression, as you say, and sometimes it happened to me finding a riff in the piano too, or maybe just a top line that I recorded in my iPhone, some lyrics that I wrote at home with the computer. Everything is a good excuse.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Everything is a good excuse to start.
It was very cool.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I was so happy.
Yeah,
it was so cool. Take care for everything.
No.
Can't wait to see you on stage. I don't know
I can't
where.
wait too. I hope that you come to Spain. Or,
Sure.
Or I'm in here.
Yeah.
And I see you perform.
Yeah, I'm doing a festival in Barcelona.
Oh, really? The Primavera?
Yes, I do.
That's cool.
I play
That's
there.
cool. Thank you so much.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Ma.
It was so cool.